Once again, Selection Radio Show 500, Apple Music 1.
To this music. I do not own the rights to this music. My coffee at? Greetings, Makkadeen family, and those others in the listening audience. Hoping all is well with you, your family, your finances, your health, and all the things that you desire in this life of good. What I want to talk about briefly today is the first law of the Makkadeen. And what is the first law of the Makkadeen? The law of the mind and the being who is involved and engaged in the teachings of Makkadeen. And that first law, the first law of Makkadeen, is that you are Gogs. Gogs, G-O-G-S, not G-O-D-S, but G-O-G-S. Now, Gog is a Hebrew word which means one who is on a rooftop, one who has the ability to see from the highest point, like being on the summit of a mountain. But in the Makkadeen, Gog is a acronym, which means God over all gods. I don't care if his name is Allah, Ra, Jah, Yahweh, whatever. Man is Gog. God over gods. Energies, forces, everything in the multiverse, according to what we teach in Makkadeen, is subservient to man when man is in his right mind. So, in the Makkadeen glossary, I'm going to give you the definition of God. You say, well, brother, you wrote the book. Why don't you just talk out of your head? Well, they say that whatever a teacher teaches, that teacher is in most need of that message than anyone else. So even though I wrote the Makkadeen, I'm also in need of the Makkadeen myself. So as I'm reading to you, I'm also reading to me. So, God. In demonology or Makkadeen, Gog is an acronym for God over gods. That is, forces, energies, etc., or anything referred to or recognized and practiced as being a god. A Gog is a fully realized sovereign who recognizes and practices that he is God over all which has been falsely made into and called God. As I just said, Allahs, Jehovah's, Yahweh's, etc. besides you. So-called gods are man's ignorant and diabolical creations and servants that are not to be worshipped but commanded by you. These forces are not to be worshipped by you. These forces, electricity, gravity, your emotions, whatever force in the universe that exists, those forces are made to be subservient to us. That's it, that's all. Well, my religion teaches that I'm a god. A god ain't nothing. A roach is a god. An ant is a god. You go to starving India right now, and there's damn near more cows walking around these starving people than anything else, because they worship the cow as being a god. You have over 150 animals and insects that's worshipped all around the world as being God. So God is not no privileged title to have. A God is no better than a roach or an ant. So don't take no pride or good feeling about being called a God. You are a Gog. They try to make you think that you're nothing by giving you all these mediocre names and teaching you inferior education. But in your heart of hearts, you know that you're God. You know that you're the greatest force in the universe. You have just been taught improperly. So, you being a God over all gods, which is really the first law of your life, you just have amnesia. I'm just here to remind you that you are the greatest force in the multiverse. Not just the universe, but the multiverse. And which is why this is the first law of Makkadeen. Because if you can't get with the first law, all the other teachings of the Makkadeen is not going to work for you. Because you have to recognize and accept and embrace your superiority over all things. And then come into the mindset that your mythological being named Jesus had in the book of Philippians chapter 4, where it says that he saw it not robbery. It's not robbery to be equal with God. That's what they said in that book. But we say in the Makkadeen, it's not robbery to be superior to what is called God, because we know that what is called God is a fallacy and a lie. And what we're teaching here is not only the truth, but it's the absolute truth. And we challenge anybody to present your information that what we're saying is untrue. Go get your gods. Go get those that you worship and bring them to the table. And we'll show you that man is God, as man has been showing the world for years now, for at least the last 100 years, going to space, splitting the atom. These are not acts of gods, because roaches and ants and dogs and cats who are worshipped as God can't do those things. But man who is God, God over God, the one who has the ability to have overstanding and be on the rooftop so you can have an aerial view of everything. There's none greater than man. Once again, man is not God. Man, as we teach the first law of Makkadeen, you are Gog. God over all gods. More later. Peace.